Friends, hello everyone, it's a pleasure to welcome you to Holly Lolly's channel, and today I would like to share with you Japanese rules and views on life, which will definitely influence your worldview. We all know about Japanese people as closed people who keep all their emotions and feelings to themselves. It is very difficult for them to make a new acquaintance, to make contact, and they know firsthand what depression is, because they have a very heavy work schedule, and also study is not easy either. There is absolutely nothing without difficult periods in life, and it is not so important what happens to us as it is important how you personally feel about it. You have no idea how important discipline is in every person's life. When we are disciplined, we are better equipped to handle different problems and difficulties. We can say that discipline is a kind of shield against suffering. Thanks to it, each of you can achieve absolutely everything: incredible success in work, in studies, in career, and just, in principle, can solve any mental problems. So I want to share with you a few rules of life from Miyamoto Musashi. He was one of the greatest and most respected samurai in history. Musashi's first duel took place when the boy was only 13 years old. Then, with the help of an ordinary wooden sword, he defeated a martial arts master. Since then, Musashi has participated in more than 60 fights and has never lost. All his achievements in fencing were not just the fruits of talent, but, as Musashi himself said, it was all about discipline and fortitude. 2 years before his death, Miyamoto Musashi wrote a book, 5 Rings, about strategy and philosophy of military skill. In it, the author makes you think a lot while leaving questions open. Most of what he said about strategy can be applied not only to the study of martial arts, but also to building a business, to career development, and to achieving the goals of a small company. As Musashi said, the most important thing is strategy. Without a clear strategy, a small firm will never become a giant, and a novice at anything will never become a professional. And also, the rules from this book help in everyday life. The first and foremost rule is to humble yourself and accept. What does that mean? It does not say submission and obedience, but acceptance of the situation as a whole. If you realize that there is no way this situation can be changed, just accept the situation. Make the right conclusions. We can very often analyze where we did what wrong. Work on our mistakes, so to speak. Accept this situation, learn a lesson, and move on. Live life with a little bit more, part of the experience. Even to thank this situation, that it was in my life, it taught me something. I became stronger, and with this acquired experience, I can move forward. We cannot choose our life, but we can choose our attitude to it. One of the most important human qualities is thinking, thanks to which a person is able to solve any task, to make some conclusions. Thinking can be logical, critical, analytical, and so on. And in particular, it can be flexible. And it is important to have flexible thinking in a person's life, because thanks to it we can better adapt to the situation we find ourselves in. It is not necessary to dig into the situation and twist it 100 times, but to take a vector, as if to redirect it and see what I can do in this situation, what will be better for me, what in this situation will make me happy, more successful, and how to make some profit. This is all due to our flexible thinking. Flexibility of thinking is usually referred to as a person's ability to switch from one thought to another, to think several thoughts at the same time, and also to incorporate creativity. It is the ability to adapt, to adjust to a situation, to use all your creative skills, to think outside the box. In other words, it is the ability to survive using any methods. But even if this skill is used competently, it is the ability to live. Also, in my opinion, flexibility of thinking is when a person can give up their old views in favor of new ones. You accept new views that are more correct, more relevant, and they can help you better than your old views. With the help of flexible thinking, you thought like this yesterday, and today you have accepted new information, thought about it, digested it in your head, and thought that it is better to act this way than the way I thought yesterday. The second rule is to never regret what you have done. Even if you didn't do something the way you intended, please don't waste time blaming yourself or reproaching yourself for anything, because tell yourself that you did the best you could and you will move on. Again, as I said before, learn a lesson and go already with a new experience. Regretting what has already happened or didn't happen doesn't help us in any way. It only hinders discipline and takes away the time to act. Miyamoto Musashi never regretted because he needed to focus on the present moment to achieve his goal. There is no need for regret, whether it's an expensive purchase that ended up being useless or wasted time on the wrong job, the wrong relationship. Don't have regrets because you won't turn back the clock. If you can fix something, consider if you can do it now. Then you better strategize, conceptualize how to fix it. If you realize that there is no way to help the situation anymore, just thank yourself that you have learned some valuable experience. Experience should not be devalued. Go on, live, and tell yourself that you just became wiser, and this will help you to succeed in the future. and in the future you will not make similar mistakes. And in general, it is absolutely normal to make mistakes and learn from them. What is not normal is when your mistakes take over your emotions. The next very important rule is to be indifferent to where you live. For Musashi, it didn't matter where he lived at all. It had no effect on his morale. For many of us, moving to a different house, a neighboring street, or a different country is something even traumatic. Getting out of the comfort zone, that's what I would say. And for some people it is the solution to a problem. To move, to forget their problems, to start with a clean slate. This is, of course, our attitude to the world, our attitude to the situation. So, the point is how I interpret what Musashi said. Because, on the one hand, how can it not matter where I live? It's more likely that each of us has different living conditions. Some people are well off and can afford to move, and some people have circumstances so that you just live in the conditions in which you live. Please find the positive things that you can learn from. For example, many people have recently left their countries, and someone sits and feels sad that everything is different here. People are different, culture is different, food is different, everything is different, and just sits and feeds on this negativity. And someone on the contrary thinks that yes, he has moved, but there are wonderful people around me. It's two sides of the coin, whichever one you look at. It is optimism or pessimism. The cup is half empty or half full. Try to take what good you can out of the situation you are in. Live and be filled with positive energy. They say it is very important what we eat, what kind of food we eat, letting it inside us. Yes, it is important what we eat, and how important it is to let in the right people into your environment, to let in the right thoughts, because it is these thoughts that make a person out of us, what we are, what we emit. How can a person, who is embittered inside, say something to others, teach someone, if this anger and aggression is sitting in him? And, of course, always ask a question. For example, you have people in your life who are very kind and positive, or vice versa. Someone will bang the door, say something offensive to you, and from these small meetings you are filled. And the point is whether you allow yourself to be filled with all these good things. Someone may say a bad word to someone, and you may say something bad in response, and now you are already clutching on a little bit negative and low vibrations. The same thing is happening on the internet. People very often cannot say what they think to their face, but they can write angry comments. You know, I would not be lying if I said that I have never written a single negative comment to anyone in my life. If I feel bad, I try to fight it in some other way. Everyone has their own methods of dealing with a bad mood. Doesn't mean you have to take it out on someone else. In this case, it doesn't matter where you live, it matters how you approach it and what you radiate, what you take in. I think my thought is correct, and I think I interpreted Musashi's words correctly too. What do you think? I'm curious. Please write in the comments. You know, I'm recording a video and I keep hearing some kind of shuddering. I thought it was a bird. And anyway, I looked over and I just saw a rat. You know, I really don't like rats. Look, even though the rats are running around here, the weather here is amazing. I left the house, and yes, I'm freezing, it's cold, but the sun is shining, the birds are singing, and you can be happy. I want to wish you sincerely to learn to be happy every day. We are taught a lot that from childhood you should do this and that. I want to tell you that each of you should be happy. That is really what you should live for and be happy. If you are happy with the sun, with a cup of coffee, you start to get a little bit drunk, because nobody can ever radiate these positive emotions and charge others with positivity if there is sadness inside. I don't know, a poor person who has no money can't teach others how to earn a lot if he himself has nothing. And also happiness. Of course, first you have to find time to start pleasing yourself, to become happier inside. Even the energy of the house changes from whether you are happy or not. For example, if a wife will constantly go around, muttering that the children are bad, the husband is bad, then she will be snapped at and it will all accumulate like a snowball. American scientists have come to a very simple conclusion: how to find happiness or how to make a person happy. It is simply to learn to rejoice in small things. Psychologists have named 10 basic criteria that make people happy, and the first is to share happy thoughts with those around you. The second is to analyze pleasant memories. The third is to praise yourself more often. Please praise yourself, even mentally. I'm so good that I did this today. Or I am good that I was able to take time to rest. Try to praise yourself at the end of the day for some small thing, but still for what I am grateful to myself. The ability to focus on pleasant sensations. To think that everything is better than it could be. To dive headfirst into the knowledge I enjoy, sometimes even pretending to be happy even in not so happy moments. Celebrate the significant moments of your life. Chase away all fears, bad thoughts, and doubts. As often as possible, say thank you to yourself, to others, and to life. And the interesting thing is that happiness can be contagious. The spread of happiness or unhappiness has one key similarity to an infectious epidemic. If the number of happy or unhappy people grows, the probability of transferring this condition from others to oneself also increases. And you know, right now at this moment I am happy. I am happy that I can record this video for you, share it with you, and therefore I sincerely wish you to be infected by this happiness from me, happiness through the screen. I hope I was able to share, to give you a piece of warmth, love, sunshine. And I really hope that you too will have more positive thoughts after watching it. The fourth rule is not to blindly believe other people's beliefs. Very often even the closest relatives wish us something very good. Mom says, "I know better how to do for you." Or else our relatives, they really want good things for us. But not always their beliefs will be good for you, and only you know what is best for you. You can certainly listen to the opinions of others, but you need to analyze how good it's going to be for me. And do not do it in a way that, don't offend anybody, but do it in a way that is best for you. I'm also always very fond of listening to other people's opinions, because maybe somebody's opinion will turn out to be better, more correct for me, and I will accept his point of view and I will show flexibility of thinking, that in this case it is really better to do so. And in another situation, I will listen and once again be convinced that no, I will not do it this way. Thank you for your opinion, but I would rather do it differently. You don't have to voice it, of course, but you need to make the right decision for yourself. What will be better for you? Never give in to the belief that you are not good enough. For example, beauty is also a subjective concept. You should not care about the opinion of others, what they think about you. The main thing is that you should be comfortable alone with yourself. I remembered one example of how not to take the opinion of others. A man tells a woman that she is redheaded and stupid, to what the girl on the first statement said that actually she is a blonde, stated the fact, and to the second, she took offense, said that he cannot judge only by one phrase. To which the man laughed and replied that it is just her insecurity, because she looks at herself in the mirror and realizes that she doesn't have red hair, and she wasn't offended by that. But why was she offended by his second sentence? I hope you understand the point I want to make, that every person, the other person is not you. He is not inside you. He does not know what is better for you, what will offend you, what will not. And I wish you that you always know that you are a smart person, beautiful, kind, and all those qualities that are inherent to you personally, and that no one around you can make you hesitate in your inference. Since you think so, it is so. Do not give in to wrong opinion and judgment from other people. Know that you are right after all, and for this you do not even need to prove anything to someone, to spend unnecessary energy. The main thing is to remember inside yourself that this is not about you. If this person wants to say it, let him say it, but it is your inner feeling and state of mind that should be important to you. And finally, the fifth rule from Miyamoto Musashi: the most precious thing you have is your honor. Of course, for the samurai, honor, it was sometimes even more important than one's own life. Any transgression that brought shame or dishonor was considered unforgivable. Of course, on the one hand this may seem somehow pathos and some relic of the past, but what Miyamoto Musashi was really talking about was self-love. This means that your actions are not contrary to your inner values, that there is harmony, that there is balance. It should not be that you have done something and then you feel ashamed in front of yourself for what you have done. As they say, no one will love you until you love yourself. People may try to insult you, somehow hurt your comfort zone, throw you off balance, but this will continue until you show them that you can't behave this way. And how do you show them that? Only a person who respects himself can show it. You have to learn to respect yourself first, and you will not believe how the world around you will change only if you begin to respect yourself. People will not automatically try to hurt you somehow, humiliate, insult, and so on. On the topic of how to love yourself can talk for a long time. Some people may find one method suitable, while others may find completely different ones. One person may need a lot of time, and another can move from this starting point and make progress in a very short period of time. But the most important thing is to start. So where to start? The most important thing is not to criticize or condemn yourself for any actions or misdeeds. Follow your own wants and needs and don't censor them. I've been saying for a long time that I'm learning Japanese. Yes, for some reason Japanese is difficult for me to learn. I somehow learn, I increase my vocabulary, I try to learn grammar, but I don't devote as much time as I would like to Japanese. But the most important thing is kind of for me to start talking to Japanese people. And, it's certainly a kind of getting out of my comfort zone. I'm starting a little bit at places where I can speak. And you know what's funny for me? And just the moment that could be uncomfortable. Sometimes I forget a word, and I start to find a synonym or translate it in the translator, and others can't understand me at all. And on the one hand, the first feeling that I embarrassed myself, and on the other hand, I perceive it differently now. Well, I tried. I praise myself for trying to talk to them. A baby doesn't walk right away. He falls. He gets bumps. And imagine a baby who fell once or twice and said that walking is not his. He will not walk again. Yes, of course, everyone goes through this stage of learning and, of course, there are different difficulties. So, I am now perceiving this situation that has developed, that I am learning to walk. There is no way without it. Well, somewhere said something wrong, someone laughed, someone corrected, and I just made a conclusion. It is not a fact that I will not repeat the same situation a second time. I can repeat it a third or fourth time. But the main thing is that I am at least making some steps. I am trying to do it, and you can also kind of transfer my situation to your own life situations that you have in your life. And nothing terrible, nothing cardinal has happened if you have made a mistake somewhere, if you have embarrassed yourself a little or have done something else. Well, you will laugh at the situation. Move on, learn, and be optimistic about the situation. Also try to surround yourself with positivity. Watch some comedies, stand-ups. What you like, what brings you pleasure. Maybe it's reading some good, funny books. If you have such a depressive state now, please do not watch negative news, because your condition may worsen. And vice versa, if you just want to go out, you want to be happy, you need to let more positivity into your life. Think about what makes you happy. Do not watch some heavy movies, so as not to drive yourself even more into negativity. Perhaps singing in the shower brings you joy. I have a notebook and I write down what makes me happy. And there are things that I can afford to do every day, or once a week. For example, I love nature very much. It is enough for me to walk in some park, to listen to the noise of trees. For someone it is the sea, maybe someone lives by the sea, but it's different for everyone. Find what you like and be inspired by it. Absorb the positive things that surround you. Learn to let go of the past. Do not cling to some offenses, mistakes. Do not engage in self-beating. There is a very good psychological technique that I also often use. It is called here and now. If your brain has redirected you to bad memories and you are crying, then at this very second pinch yourself, pull your ear, your hair. Try to bring yourself to your senses. I am here and now I am not in the past where I felt so bad. I am right here and now. You realize that you are now. You are not in the past. And to feel better, you touch your body somehow to make your brain focus on your sensations. Here I'm massaging my ear, what sensations I'm feeling. And when you have a little bit come to the feeling of here and now, then at this moment try to shift your attention, and for example to look at something outside the window or to turn on something to watch something good. As soon as you catch yourself thinking that you are just thinking about something that has long passed, then drop it. Bring yourself to your senses. But when you learn to realize that you are now in that bad state, then pull yourself out. Say to yourself that everything is fine here, everything is fine now. Learn not to hold on to the past, but to let it go. Remember, this skill comes gradually. The more kindness and care you give yourself, the sooner you will be able to see at least some first results. The main thing is to make the effort and finally take the first step. Friends, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for being with me, for listening to me, for seeing me. I'm very interested in what you think about these rules in general. Let me know in the comments if you agree with all of them. And of course, I'll see you in the new videos. Like, subscribe to the channel and bye-bye.